Hey, hey, hey! So today we are painting the garland and attachment for our Valentine sweetie. I think I put it in the title the wrong name. I think I put it backwards, but that's okay. We are going to be painting the attachment and the garland. If I can get that tape off of my mock-up here. But yeah, we're going to paint the attachment and the garland, and I have already base coated everything. So all this is just the first coat of all the things. So don't feel like you've missed out on a whole lot of things. I just wanted to respect your holiday time. I know we are all pressed for time right now during this time. If you're catching this live, we are painting this during December, actual Christmas week. If you're catching the replay, put hashtag replay. But so this may not be as rushed for you as it is for us while we were live. But don't worry, don't fret. It's still going to be a lot of fun. How are you doing this morning? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I normally watch the comments on this phone because it tells me all the names. But for some reason, StreamYard, which is the service that I use to be able to put my video in different places at the same time, it has decided it wants to kick everybody out of StreamYard, and now I can't see anybody's name. If I can get my wonderful son, who's home for the holidays, to come help his poor old mama. Hey, Hayden. Let's see if he heard that. Anytime I yell Ray Lynn's name, he hears it, and he's like, what? I was like, I called Ray Lynn. I didn't call you. And anytime I actually try to call him, he doesn't hear it. Good morning. I'm going to listen while you're going to listen while you're at work. Okay, so are you working a full day? Or are y'all on a holiday schedule? Morning, Hayden. I tried to be nice. So let me go ahead and go through all the colors that we've base coated this already. I base coated this ahead of time, like I said, because of the holiday schedule. This is Sunny Day, Carousel Pink, Indian Turquoise, or you could use Sea Breeze, whichever one suits your fancy. And this is Sky Gray with a little bit of white. I didn't want full day today. Then I'm off till Thursday. Ooh, you basically get like almost a full week. That is nice. Hayden. Got to use the mom voice or he don't hear it. Hey, in my little pin bag on the coffee table is that one right there. Bring it to me, please.
I see 2 chargers and a pen.
I'm needing one of those chargers. I think I need this one. This one right here. Thank y'all. I want to see my friends' names. I don't know if it'll even be long enough. It should be. It should be long. Yeah, it's long enough. I'll just have to be in an awkward position. Okay, so Indian Turquoise or Sea Breeze, they're basically the same color, just a shade off. Woohoo! We were on 20%. Like, it was red. It was red, y'all. It was red. All right, now I get to see your names. Okay. So let me pull that up. Paint Studio. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm talking to Anna and Cindy. Y'all, good morning. Hey, Brenda. How are y'all doing? Okay, so like I said, these are just the first coats. I did these ahead of time just to save us a little bit of time on having to base coat all the boring parts. We all know how to base coat, right? And if we take our time, it always looks a lot nicer, right? So I'm going to take some Sunny Day. You could also use Banana Cream. You know, I like to use them interchangeably. They're my 2 favorite yellows. I try not to stray away from those 2 yellows unless it's very isolated situation. Every once in a while I'll break out that bright yellow, but I really don't like the coverage of it and I don't like to fight with it. So today we are going to go take pictures with Santa. This is Santa Day. We always do it the week of Christmas. I try to be the mom that's ahead of schedule and do it early enough to where we can have, I've never had those cute little Christmas cards. I've never been that mom. I've never been that organized with our extra time in the household. But I always make time for it during Christmas week because I tend to have some downtime, some off time. And that's what's on the agenda today. I've already done Raylan's hair. As soon as we're done here, we're in the car and we're going to meet Santa. Hayden is a trooper, even though he's 16 now. He still gets stressed for his poor old mama, and he will take a picture with Santa if his sister is in the picture. He will not do a solo picture anymore, although I think I'm going to beg him to do a solo one this year, just so I can have it. I don't know why that's the hardest thing. The Easter Bunny picture, it was hard the first year. He was like, Mom, no. But the Santa, there's just something about the Santa picture. Like it's part of the Christmas magic for me. Like it is not the reason for the season, but it definitely helps with the magic. Hey everyone, I finally got to go home for Christmas this year. Oh, I'm so excited. Where is home? Where is home? It sure is colder than Tennessee compared to South. Oh, you're in Tennessee. I should have just kept reading. All right, so we just did a second coat of banana cream or Sunny Day. I think I used Sunny Day, to be honest. Sorry about that. I know that was super loud in your ear. I'm so sorry. I have my water in my coffee mug this morning because I am not, while I'm home, I'm really not getting my water like I should. And so, but I love drinking out of my coffee cup. So I'm trying to trick my brain into thinking it's coffee. And so I'll pick up my coffee mug more than I'll pick up my actual water bottle. And I'll drink more water if I drink it that way while I'm at home. Now, if I'm out, I always have my water in my water bottle. And I have no problem if I'm out getting my water in. But there's just something about being home. I just don't think about, oh, you're thirsty. Okay, but it can wait. That's the conversation that goes on in my head. Erica, you're really thirsty. Yeah, but it can wait. It'll be the next task that I do. Don't worry. And that next task never gets here. So I've been tricking myself with drinking it out of a coffee mug while I'm at home. And it's been working. I don't know exactly how much water I'm drinking, but I know I'm not thirsty. So that's all. Honestly, that's all that matters. As long as you're not thirsty. Oh, okay. So this is Carousel Pink. You can do any pink that you want. You can do all pastels, or you can make these bright. It's whatever your fancy is for Valentine's Day. Remember, we're making these ahead of time so that they're ready to go when the holiday finally gets here. You never want to be painting something as the holiday's going, right? Like in Christmas, you don't want to be painting Christmas as it's Christmas. Unless you just want to, unless it's just for fun. Only because you won't get to use it. You won't get to use it. Like you'll have to wait till the next Christmas to display it, only because, you're in the swing of things. But if you paint it ahead of time, which is why in the studio, we tend to do things ahead of time so that things are ready to go. And I try not to make it too terribly ahead of time, like no more than 2 months. Like I will do up to 2 months early, other than Christmas. Every once in a while, I'll throw Christmas out there super early just because there's some makers in here that do things that does this for a living. And having Christmas good in advance. What, baby girl?
I said XOXO.
XOXO. Yeah, that's the door hanger that goes with this set. She sees the door hanger sitting over here.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we should. I think we should do this like this, like that.
Hold on. She's saying that we should put the garland pieces on the attachment like that. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Thank you for your input.
You're welcome, Mama.
All right, so we've done a second coat of yellow, a second coat of pink. We don't need to do a second coat of the background. That was the only color. Everybody says, good morning, beautiful. Tell them how you did your hair this morning.
My mom curled it.
She used to call it swirly hair. Mommy, I want swirly hair. And now it's curly hair. And it makes me sad because I didn't know when the last time I was going to hear swirly hair. And now I realize the last time I heard it was the last time I was ever going to hear it. I will have plenty of time during Christmas break to do that was my hope. Right? You're going to make me dizzy, baby, by spinning my chair like that. That was my hope, is that, if we did Valentine's Day, Ray, please stop. If we did Valentine's Day ahead of time during Christmas time, you know, people tend to have a little bit of downtime to get it done. Let's see.
Also, I'm gonna check if there's any pink or yellow in here.
Pink and yellow. Baby, let's leave all this alone. Can you go play or watch a movie in Mommy's room until I'm done?
But I did.
Otherwise, we're not. I know. Can you go do one of those again? Otherwise, we're not going to have time to go see Santa, okay? Oh, yeah. Now, Indian Turquoise and Sea Breeze have really good coverage. So sometimes you'll need a second coat. Sometimes you don't. This is one coat. I don't need a second coat. It covered really good. Now, I did have, my bottle is about down to here. And about the time that you get down to here in a bottle of paint, it thickens up to the point that if it was a coat and a half fresh, it's about a one coater halfway. Like once you get to about here, you're about at a one coater at that point, which makes me happy. That's why I love the pastel. So this color, the purple cow, sometimes carousel pink. Sometimes this is a fresh bottle of carousel pink. So I knew I was never going to get that to a one coater. You're getting so big. She is getting big. Deidre, she is 6 going on 16. It's hard having a teenager and a school ager here in the house at the same time because she thinks anything Bubba gets to do, she should get to do. Let me back this up just a little bit so you see the whole thing. And it's a little frustrating. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard. It's hard. She does not want to hear the word no. And he doesn't get told no too terribly often because he really doesn't ever ask for anything. So when we do say yes to him, why does he get it and I don't? But yeah, no, she's getting so big and it's breaking my heart because she's the last one. I really, Graham and I joke about it all the time. He goes, well, it's time for another one. I was like, well, no, it's not. Okay, I'm going to find something to do some stenciling with. It's not my favorite way to do stenciling, but I have been doing some cleaning over here and everything is out of its place. And so I don't know where my makeup sponges are. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know where my makeup. If I stumble upon one, it'll be a Christmas miracle. So I'm gonna use a polka dot dauber. Definitely not my favorite way to do this. Okay, definitely not. But it'll work in a pinch if you do it just right. So I'm gonna take a teeny tiny little one. Okay, I'm not gonna go too terribly big with it. I'm gonna take my Indian turquoise. No, this Bahama blue. It's Bahama blue. I'm sorry. Bahama blue and Indian turquoise are very similar. Bahama blue. Very similar. And I'm going to take a good bit of white. Okay. So I have about a pea size of blue and I'm going to do about a quarter size of white. That's about a 1-to-2 ratio. Oh, so many wonderful Miriam. I know. I'm excited. I'm excited with her because she honestly is a very good girl. So I've got my blue here. I just dipped it in blue. I did pick up a little bit of white there. Now I'm going to dip it in white. I'm probably going to do another dip in white. I just want a different shade of blue. I just don't want straight from the bottle blue. All right. So I've got a good little color going there. All right, I think we're good. Now, I'm just going to do some stenciling around the outside of our stamp. So this is a stamp. If you couldn't see that ahead in the mock-up, that's what I was intending for it to be. I love the stamp shape. Oh, I kind of like the texture that this polka dot sponge is giving it. So it's stenciled, but it also kind of looks textured because, you know, polka dot sponge has all the pores in it. And so it's getting all that texture of the pores in the sponge. I'm just being very careful not to get it anywhere it's not supposed to. I'm just kind of fussy painting that around. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So this is just that Show Offs brand. I get it at Hobby Lobby. It's one of my favorite stencils. Every time I go in there, I do check to see if they still have it. They still have it. It's one of my favorite background stencils for a smaller piece. So anything that's not door hanger size, like door hanger size, I use the big one. I have one that's bigger. I love that one. But if I am using, if I am painting something attachment or ornament or garland size, I prefer this one just because it's smaller. It's scaled down. Hey, Roxana, I'm working and watching you. Okay, so are you working your day job or are you painting? Roxana is a kick butt HR like guru. She's so good at what she does. Every time we get a chance to hang out at a retreat, I get to catch up with her and all the, all the things that she's doing with her company. And usually, okay, so back in the day, if I was told I had to go see HR, it was like, hey, you need to see HR before you leave. I'm like, no. It's like, it's a punishment. It's a punishment. But then I met Roxana and, it takes all the scary away from HR now because Roxana is like the most pleasant person to talk to. And like, if she was the HR I had to go see, if she was my HR at my company, I'd be like, no big deal. Okay, cool. Even if I'm in trouble, Roxana's going to make it seem like, okay, just fix it. Don't do that again. Like, she's so gentle. That's the word I was trying to get at. She is gentle. Hold on. How are y'all doing for Christmas? If you're watching this live, it's Christmas time. And this is when some people are struggling. Not necessarily always emotionally. Sometimes we're just struggling to get the to-do list done. Like, I'm struggling to get the to-do list done. And that's just, I think that's par for the course for most mamas during the holidays. But I'm not gonna lie. I am oh, look, I have a whole, look, that's an awkward little stripe right there. Let's just fit, oh, look, right there. Those two right there. And then we're going to put this one right there. There we go. Perfect. Just fill that little awkward spot in. All right. That there. I just love stenciling. It adds so much and it doesn't take long to do it, especially when you get comfortable. Okay, just gotta have this little spot right here. I think I'll be done. I will say I'm not struggling as bad as one of my friends. She went to not Mexico. Where did she go? She went to Puerto Rico for Christmas with her whole family. And I'm like, woo, that is a big old trip right there at Christmas time. So they left on the 15th. They're still in Puerto Rico. And so I'm like, well, at least I didn't have to have Christmas done by the 15th. I still had 10 extra days. So, I mean, every time I think about how I'm stressing, I was like, at least I didn't have to have Christmas done by the 15th. So it's not that bad. Okay, so let's recap what we've done so far. Now, I had all this base coated, one coat on everything before we started. And that was the background, gray sky or sky gray, whichever one, gray sky, with a little bit of white, okay? Just to tone it down because gray sky straight from the bottle is still a little dark color. I mean, that's ghosted out and it's still a little darker than some would want, right? Like, I like a light gray, and light gray is just really hard to get because, I mean, this is the lightest gray you can get in a bottle, and this is ghosted out. So, I mean, you think you're getting that color, right? And that's ghosted out, which means we added white. That's still darker than what came straight from the bottle, right? So just be aware that gray is hard to work with, okay? So we did one coat. No, it was a thick coat, but we did one coat, and that's all it needed of the gray sky. Then we have one coat of Bahama blue. You can also use Indian turquoise. We have 2 coats of banana cream or sunny day, and then 2 coats of carousel pink. And then we just did our stenciling of the Bahama blue ghosted out with white, and we did double the amount of white than we did Bahama blue. Christmas is not just Christmas this year. All the kids are in. Let me go back. Okay. Sorry, I tried my phone. Christmas is okay. Here we go. Deidre said Christmas is not just Christmas this year. All the kids are in different states except one. No grandkids around, so it's so depressing. Oh, don't know. I don't want you going there. Don't go there, Deidre. I know what you mean though. Like depressing in the fact that like your Christmas looks different. It looks different. It's gonna feel different. You know, my mom's struggling with that this year too. Well, she struggled with it for a few years. She's just now accepting it this year. Mom, you know, was so used to having a house full of kids the whole time I was growing up. And, you know, there was 5 of us in the house at one time, you know. And she, by the time we got old enough to really go do what we want to do with our own families, it was hard for her to accept. I know this isn't what you were talking about, but like accept the fact that we were a little grown, you know, we were just a little grown, and she couldn't dictate what we could do on Christmas morning. And that meant her Christmas morning was going to look different, and it does. So this is the first year that she's coming to my house on Christmas morning and watching the kids open their presents instead of us having a whole separate party for them to experience Christmas with her. You know what that means? You know what I'm saying? And for her, this is the first year that she's actually okay with it. Okay, so the more that I look at my stamp, the more that I wish that my pink was a little lighter pink, but I don't necessarily want poodle skirt pink. Okay, this right here would be too pastel, way too pastel. But that right there is too dark compared to everything else. So what I'm going to do is I took carousel pink and I ghosted it out with just a little bit of white. And we're just going to go right back over it. It's not going to take but a minute. And we're going to give this a 3rd coat. I'm just going to tone this down. And I think when I do that, it's going to balance everything out. And hopefully I'll only need to do the 1 coat. This is going to be just a shade darker than poodle skirt pink. Poodle skirt pink would have been baby pink. And then when I go to shade this, I will just use carousel pink straight from the bottle to shade it. I'll probably need 2 coats just to even out brush strokes. It won't need to be a full-on, full coverage coat. Okay. See the difference? It's going to look so much better. It's going to look more pastel. I usually travel to Oklahoma for Christmas, but since I lost my job, it's not doable. But Norm and Aiden has a great Christmas, and that makes my heart happy. Yes, ma'am. You find your joy. Do y'all watch those TikToks? Who watches TikTok in here? There's a man. He is a preschool or elementary school art teacher or a drama teacher, I think. Maybe he's a drama teacher. I don't know what his name is. But his stuff comes across my newsfeed all the time. And his tagline is "Find Your Joy." But he always tells you that to go find your joy after he just told you all the crazy shenanigans that these children have put him through, or the crazy things that come out of their mouth. And he's just like, see, I can't react to that. See, right there, that was inappropriate what they just did, but I can't let them know that was inappropriate because they're children, and it's not my place to tell them, you shouldn't have told me that about your mom. But I'm going to keep your secret. It's funny. It's the crazy things that come out of kids' mouths. And he goes, find your joy. And so he has he has decided I'm not going to stress over that. I'm going to make it my joy. Like every time these kids tell me something that I'm like, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that, I'm going to giggle at it. I'm going to find my joy. So, teacher, good job at finding your joy on a hard situation. Very proud of you. Very. Mwah. I'm very proud of you. This year for Christmas, that was our goal. Was, we're never going to take the commercialism out of Christmas, right? Hey, Sheila, your camera arm is right across your face. I know. It's driving me crazy, but it's like the perfect angle. Let me see if I can. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. While this dries, I'm going to turn my camera off on this one. Let me see. I think I did something different last time. Let's see if it fixes. Let me go full screen. Oh, full screen. Okay, there we go. I don't know what I just did. Okay. How's that? Is that a little better? Okay, I think it's a little better. There's your beautiful face. Hey. Hey, girl, hey. I think I just put my boobs in. Okay, no, I'm good. I leaned over my whole project, and I thought maybe my sweater got some pink on it. So, crisis averted. Gotta find your joy. That's how it says, find your joy. Now that I've said it, it's going to come across somebody's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram feed. You're going to see this man, okay? He wears glasses. He's from New Orleans. He's so much fun. I don't agree with everything he says, but when he talks about his kiddos at school, he gives me the giggles. Because I can just picture my Raylyn going to school and telling her teacher some of that. And that might be the reason their teachers kind of look at me a little weird when I walk into the room. So Anna knows who I'm talking about. He has the funniest little kid stories. And if you cannot find your joy, you need to find someone to talk, like some little elementary school teacher, and let them just talk about their job for about 5 minutes. And I promise you, the stories that they come up with will give you the giggles. Okay, Sheila knows who I'm talking about. I don't know his name. If anybody knows what his name is, or what his handle is, what the kids call it. What's your handle? What's your gamer handle? Ooh. Okay, so we're officially at the let's shade the mess out of this situation, okay? So we ghosted this pink out. So this is carousel pink with a little bit of white. So that means that we can just use straight from the bottle carousel pink to shade it, right? Little kid and teacher stories. They are the best. I'm telling you. Now, I have teenagers, so all my kids are 14, 15, and 16, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's some good stories there. There's some good, but they're on a totally different level, okay? Where's my water bottle? Here we go. Don't forget your water bottle. If we're going to shade, you got to have your water bottle. All right. We're going to add some water. We're going to go in with the carousel pink. Okay. So let me see if I can find some stories that are appropriate, because a lot of mine are inappropriate. That's the problem with being around teenage boys. And most of my students, I think I have, so in first block, I have 3 blocks. Okay. We're on the block schedule, which means we only have 3 classes instead of 7 classes or 6 classes. So our kids have 4 classes for the day, but they're longer. And if you're on the period schedule, means I think your kids maybe have 7 classes and they're shorter. So instead of having 45-minute classes, we have 90-minute classes. And most classes, like a normal class that is not our class. Our class is a totally different program. So we have our kiddos all year long, but they have us for 2 different classes. So we see the same students after Christmas break. All the other teachers at the school only have their kiddos from the beginning of school up to Christmas break. And then when we get back from Christmas break, they get it's like a whole new school year. It's like a whole new school year. But luckily for us in our classroom, our kiddos come back. Our kiddos come back to us for the rest of the year. Okay, so I want you to look at this side of the heart. Hold on, let me get that glare out of your way. This side of the heart versus this side of the heart. See how this one's flat and this one has a little oomph to it? That's what that shading does. Lorelai, hey Lorelai, how you doing, girl? How you feeling since your surgery? Are you feeling better? Lorelai is Sheila's teenage daughter. I say teenage. She's almost grown. Like she's in the same boat as Hayden. She's a little older than Hayden. Almost grown. Only reason I get to watch is took a girl to the ER for a dog bite. Oh no! You took a girl, like a random girl, like were you outside and she was just hanging outside and you saw her get bit by a dog? Or is this at a school? Or like I have questions. Is she okay? Is it bad dog? I got bit by a dog when I was a little girl. And so like when I hear about it, and it wasn't a horrible one, but the memory of it, oh my gosh, you would have thought that dog tore me to pieces. I have scars on my knee from it. Okay, so I need to do a little bit more up here, but I kind of want to let it dry. Pauline, I've got questions. And I'm worried. How old? Like, is she a little girl? Is she like Raylynn, or is she like a teenager? You say girl. I got questions. She is feeling really good and working on her psych therapy to get her jaw. Oh, physical therapy. Sorry, psych. Well, I mean, like, she might benefit from some psychotherapy as well. I mean, we all could, right? Right, Lorelai? It's the holidays. We could all use a little counseling session. But her physical therapy. She definitely typed physical therapy. To get her jaw muscles stretched back out. Her profile and facial structure looks so good. Ooh, I bet it does. Right? Get you some psychotherapy. That made me giggle. I need some psychotherapy. I need to just go find me a hotel room. I don't even care if it's down the street. I told Graham, I was like, you know what? If I go missing for 3 days, don't call the cops until the 4th, because I'm probably just hiding out in a hotel room post-holiday, getting the post-holiday jitters out. It's going to feel like a detox. All right, so there we go. There's our heart number 1. Now, how do we want to shade that yellow? How do we want to shade it? Let's see. I think we can. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. And this is an experiment here. I do this all the time, but I always use warm sunset. I've never mixed bright orange, which is what the orange in our garland is. I very rarely use bright orange, okay? Very rarely. I like warm sunset. But when I want my overall piece to look bright, like everything is bright or pastel, that warm sunset it's just too I really need like a golden color. But we're gonna make this work, okay? So we're gonna add a little bit of yellow. So I got a little bit of, my base coat color. And we're going to add a little bit of bright orange to it. And we're going to make our own bright golden color, okay? I've tried this with warm sunset, and it never turns out right. It always looks a little muddy. Oh, no, this is way better. Bright orange mixed with a little bit of your base coat yellow. And it gives it just that little bit of glow on the edge that you need. Just a little bit. Look at that. It's barely there. Remember, with this technique, we can build it up. We can build it up, okay? A little bit of yellow. Dip it in some bright orange. I did not eat breakfast and I can hear my tummy growling. One of the kids' favorite place to get fast food from is Panda Express. And they have not had it in a while. And we haven't really eaten out at all this whole Christmas break. I've been really good about cooking or pulling things from the freezer to thaw. Like I have not pulled out Thanksgiving yet, because there was about half of my Thanksgiving meal was still left over. And so I bagged it up in individual meals that could feed my family, for a night. And I told myself over the holidays, if I feel stressed and don't want to cook, I've already cook, just thaw it out, warm it up, doctor it up. And tell them to be thankful, dang it. It's like, here's your dinner. Be thankful. So I haven't had to do that yet. Like last night, we made pizza, homemade pizzas. I've been on a sourdough journey. It feels like a massive journey, but it's taken me a solid year to get my sourdough starter to be predictable. Like, I swear I had to start it over twice. So I pretty much I started it from scratch, and she is finally working like I feel like everybody else is. And I have been baking up a storm, and all the bread that she makes, I can eat. Y'all know I'm gluten-free. So like, there's a lot of things I can't eat when I go places, like rolls. Like, it really makes me sad whenever I go out to eat, or if I go to a dinner and I can't have the dinner roll that they made, especially if they made a homemade dinner roll. And I'm like, yeah, that just looks delicious. Otherwise, I'll be itching for days. There's something about gluten that makes my whole body feel like it's on fire, especially like my scalp. And like, I get a legit full body reaction from it. And so if I eat it, it's a very conscious decision on my part. And I just try not to partake in that. So they have said that sourdough, true sourdough, not bought from the store sourdough, true sourdough that, someone has let ferment on the counter and rise on its own and sit in the fridge. The process of making sourdough makes it, in my words, chemically gluten-free, right? Like, there's still technically gluten in it, but the process of it rising on its own, all the bacteria in the good bacteria that's in sourdough kills or breaks down the gluten. I don't know. There's a whole science behind it, but I can eat it. I've learned that I can eat it, and it doesn't irritate me like all the other store-bought bread does. And so I've made, today is my first attempt at dinner rolls. I'm going to make dinner rolls here in a little bit after we go see Santa. And then I've made a couple loaves of bread. I've made a lot of crackers. I have missed crackers, y'all. I've missed them. And now I don't have to miss them. What else? Oh, the kids love cinnamon rolls. The cinnamon rolls are amazing. I don't think I will prefer a cinnamon roll any other way now. I love the cinnamon rolls that it makes. But yeah, so we've been doing that. And it's taught me patience. It really has, because it takes some patience to get that thing started. All right, so now we're going to go around the edge, and I'm just going to pick the straight. And I just picked up a darker blue. This is peacock teal. Or tail. Is it peacock teal or tail? Oh, peacock teal. Peacock teal. I like this one, and I like mermaid tail. Mermaid tail is much deeper. I'm going to go around the edge. I don't know what Raylene is watching in there, but it is loud. They're yelling. Make sure I get these corners really good. I don't want to frame it out completely. I just want to go down the edge, and I want to taper it about halfway in this divot, and I want to leave this part right here bright. So I went down, and as I got to about right here, I started bringing it off and tapering it in. Okay, and I'm going to go around and do that. Well, actually, yeah, this is the bottom. And then right here, just want a little bit of a shadow. Nothing too terribly crazy or heavy. Just a little bit. But this corner, all the corners, I want all the corners fully coated. Oh no, y'all see the pink? Do you see it? Where did I pick up pink? A little bit of water. Okay. That means I need to clean my brush. I was listening, but gotta go. You too, Jerry. You have a Merry Christmas as well. She needs psychotherapy for sure. You leave her alone. I was joking. Gosh, I feel like sometimes we could sit at a table with Lorelai, and she could give us all a little counseling session. Okay, like I said. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and taper it off. I don't want it on the full. Feels weird going upside down, but I don't want it. Okay, we are. Okay, remember, we're on the corner, so we're going to make sure we shade the entire corner. Okay. Look at that. All right, look at all this compared to this. See how flat this looks? And how much that just kind of gives it just a little oomph. Just a little. Just enough to where it doesn't look so blah. Now, if you don't want to do this step, remember, all this that I'm shading, you could definitely use a paint pen and bring defining shape to your project that way. There's muffins over there if you want a muffin, baby. Oh, I've made English muffins. Hey, what's been your favorite thing that I've made with the sourdough so far?
The pizza.
The pizza. Yeah, everybody likes the pizza. I'm telling you, the pizza is the easiest thing.
I'm just gonna have this one.
Okay. Have you already had one today?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering if there were 2 left this morning. Yeah, if you want to do that, I might surprise y'all with something for lunch. No, not more pizza. I'm telling you, they love and it's the easiest thing. You get a cast iron skillet, you preheat your oven, and you put your cast iron in your oven and let it preheat while the oven's preheating. And then when you're ready to make pizza, you put a little bit of oil in your pan and coat your pan. And then you pour your sourdough discard. That's all you need. You just pour your sourdough discard into the pan, coat the bottom of your pan with it, and then stick it back in the oven for 10 minutes, and you have a pizza crust. And what I do is when I pour my sourdough discard into the pan, I I season it. Like I go ahead and put like my herbs on it. So I like to do a little bit of dry basil, a little bit of Italian, those pre-mixed Italian herbs. I do a little bit of that. I do a little bit of salt. And then that's it. Like I just keep it super simple. And then you put it in the oven for 10 minutes and your crust is done. It's ready. Okay. Now, then you bring it back out, top it with all your topping, pizza sauce, toppings, put it back in the oven and just melt the cheese and you're good to go. Pizza in like less than 15 minutes. I think I spend 20 minutes making 2 pizzas. The entire time I'm making pizzas. That's really dark. I'm clean my brush. And I'm just going to move that around. All I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of a lift here behind the heart. Okay. A little bit of a lift. And it's super dark. Clean my brush. She wants to know why she's giving the counseling session. She says that she needs the counseling. I don't know. I'm telling you, these kiddos, they just see the world differently than we do nowadays. Like Hayden has come home and he has said, I have said some things out loud and he's like, well, Mom, does it matter? I'm like, who are you? Little old man? Like who, like giving old man advice? Like, so you sound like someone who has lived and has learned. Like, who is this giving me advice? And then he does, like every so often, he puts me in check. He's like, hey Mom, does it really matter? I was like, you know what? I guess it doesn't. I guess you're right. I guess it does not matter in the grand scheme of things. So like, I don't know. She is very worldly. I don't know. Lorelai is just very insightful. She sees the world so differently. I mean, she took a blank piece of wood that was supposed to be one thing and made it into a hot dog on a bun. I mean, like, who else saw that? I don't know if y'all saw that, but Lorelai went to a retreat with us. She normally travels with her mama when we go to stuff. And Lorelai, she sees the project we're supposed to do, okay? She sees it. And she says, no. She says, absolutely not. So I don't even remember what it was supposed to be. Do you remember what it was supposed to be? I don't even remember. I think it was just a generic shape that we were supposed to make into an interchangeable base. And she's like, you know what? I see a hot dog. And it was beautiful. Like everybody knew exactly what that thing was supposed to be. And everyone made a trip over to her station to check it out at least once while we were there. And it's awesome. And so, I don't know. I'd sit and listen to someone whose brain sees the world differently like that. Okay, sorry. I'm being very persnickety about this one side, and I don't know why. But all I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of a shadow going around the edge, and I'm making sure I get underneath the little divots of the heart. There we go. Now this garland that we're about to hop onto, so easy. It's so easy. I try not to overwhelm y'all with a bunch of difficult projects. If one's difficult, the rest of them are going to be simplified. That way your brain has some time to truly enjoy creating. Okay. And so like this garland, you could do whatever you want to. You can add some stenciling. I have thought about adding some stenciling, but I do want some simple I don't want everything to be visually overstimulating. So I left the garlands somewhat simple. Okay. I'm going to take this just blot because I feel like I got a lot of water there and it's not drying because that paint is creating a barrier. Okay. There we go. That was bugging me. I have an old baby wipe that's just sitting here. It's dried. So it's almost like a rag at this point. So it was able to soak that water up. Nice. There we go. Remember, we want to get behind that heart. It's a very light layer. All right, so there is our attachment. You know what would be fun? Some glitter. It would be some glitter. Turn it sideways. She saw a hot dog in the bun. Completed. Okay, the welcome sign with the face. Yes, that's what it was. Yes, and then she put resin on it and made it super shiny. Hey, Miss Bonnie. How are y'all doing over on the other side of the boot? Well, you're only, well, I guess just a little slightly over, huh? A little down and over. A little down and over. So yeah, so that right there. Remember, when you're shading, catch the corners really good. Okay, catch the corners really good. And then just go across the edges of everything else. And if you want to get extra fancy with it, just a little half of that circle right there. Otherwise, just catch the very outside edges of it. And it will really make things pop. Okay, there we go. Now, I feel like I said we're done. I think one more. We really need to separate it from this background. So this right here is Ghosted Out Sky Gray, okay? I don't think straight from the bottle is going to be dark enough, but we shall try. We shall try. We will give it a good go. You have the flu. I'm so sorry. Everyone's getting the flu right now. Like, seriously. Graham has 2 salespeople out with the flu. I had a bunch of students miss their final because of the flu. Nope. Okay, I didn't think so. But I've got a darker gray. I've got slate gray over here. Okay, I've got slate gray. Hold on. I have one that's opened. Where'd it go? Oh, this one has like a little protective cap on it. Okay, it wasn't that bad taking it off. Okay. Oh no. It went face down. It went face down on my table. So now I gotta clean that up. Here we go. No, I am so sorry about the flu. I had my friend that went to Puerto Rico for Christmas. That's still in Puerto Rico. Her kid was going with her. I mean, I think he's like in 4th grade, so like little, you know. And he got the flu 2 days before they were supposed to leave for Puerto Rico on a family vacation trip. And I felt so sorry. And they traveled with him. They were like, you know what? Let's go. And the doctors would not give him any kind of steroids or anything to just let him feel better, knowing that he was going on that trip. Like, I felt so sorry for him. I know he's got to be miserable. All right, so we're just kind of lifting it up. All right, there we go. Okay. So this year, has anybody thought about some New Year's resolutions for next year? Do you do New Year's resolutions? I don't typically do resolutions. I try to make myself a promise. And it's not because I have, I think ill of I failed myself one too many times. So I don't call them resolutions. But for simplicity, when I talk to somebody, that's what I call it. But this year I am going to try to minimize the amount of craft supplies I buy. I want to purge what I have and get rid of anything that I have not used and that I don't have a plan for. Something my grandmother says that really has resonated with me the last couple months. And I've kind of started the process. I have just not done a real good job. I just have separated it from my craft space. It's still here. I've gotten rid of some scrapbooking things. I've kept all my paper because I do use paper. Not as often as I would like, but I do use paper. But my goal next year is to not buy anything new that doesn't have a dedicated plan, and I plan to use it as soon as I get home. Like if it's going to just sit around for months, well, then it can sit around in the store. Like the store can store it for me. I don't need to be storing it right here at my fingertips because I don't intend to use it in the next little bit. So that's what she says. She goes, the store can store it just as good as I can store it. And if the store stores it, it causes me zero stress. If I got to sit around and look at that knowing I haven't used it yet, all it's doing is stressing me out. And I'm like, you know what? That right there. She has said it many times my entire life. And it finally hit me a couple months ago while I was, it was about my clothes. When she said it, I immediately thought, why am I holding on to that? Why am I holding on to it? Just get rid of it. You have not worn it in years. You can't wear it. You cannot put that on right now. And you will not be able to put that on in the next 6 months, no matter how hard you work. So get rid of it. And so that's what I've been doing. Now look at that. That really did. The little bit of shadow that we added to that helped make those hearts just pop. All right, so I'm going to blow dry this just a little bit. I would not want to be on vacation. I know, right? And you're an adult who can, if you really had to muster up the courage and the strength to go wash the dishes because you have to, you could. Kids are they don't they would play if you'd let them while they're sick, but it would just do them more harm. But when you have the flu, I don't think anybody has washed the dishes energy when you have the flu, especially a kid. And he had to get on a plane. He had to get on 2 planes. One plane that was a little tinker toy plane. You know, the little itty bitty sardine can kind of planes? Yeah, that kind. And those, I don't have a problem getting on them. But if I have the flu, I have a problem getting on it. Thankfully, the only people that he was in the plane with was a pilot. God bless him. And his own family that was going to be stuck in, close quarters with him anyways. I feel sorry for everybody who has to be around him because they've got to potentially be sick. And he has to be sick around people, which is, I know, right. We look, preaching to the choir, right? I feel bad for him. All right, now we're on the garland. And I have pre-base coated everything. Everything has 2 coats, okay? There was nothing exciting about me painting hearts, right? I went ahead and did that. The only thing that probably does need an extra coat is this orange. Because like I said, I do not like bright orange. I like the color of it. I do not like messing with it because it takes 3 coats. And I've only done 2. So I'm going to do a 3rd one. And I should have base coated this with coral. And I did not. Because I thought, you know what? It'll work for me this time. I was naive. Okay, Okay, there we go. There's the third coat of bright orange. Okay. Now on these, all we're doing is shading. That's all we're doing. Now, if you wanted to make these super Valentine's-y, you could turn these into conversation hearts, which was the inspiration of this whole design set, was conversation hearts. There's nothing more Valentine's than a box of conversation hearts. Nothing. There's nothing. Maybe a box of chocolates, right? But conversation hearts are prettier. They're just prettier. All right, so we've got our third coat on there. Let me see if I can find a darker purple. Right there. A little bit of dioxazine purple. And all we're going to do is just some simple shading around the edges to kind of give them a little bit of shape. I've had it in probably, I haven't had it in probably 20 years, getting better. Oh man, I don't think I've ever had the flu. If I've had it, I didn't know what it was, and I just blamed COVID. If I had it in the last couple of years, and I just blamed COVID. Like that seriously, that's all I've done. Because I do not know that I know for a fact pre-COVID, I've never had the flu. I know pre-COVID, I've never had the flu. Okay, so just sweeping that around the edge, just to give it a little bit of shape. I feel like I need a little bit more water. That soaked into my piece real quick. Okay, there we go. And I am going to go behind the yellow heart. And I'll do this on every single piece. And just give it a little bit of shadow. Okay, so there we go. When that dries, that's going to be super pretty. All right, let's do the same thing. Okay, get a little bit of dioxazine purple. Work it in. Okay. Bring it down. Okay. And behind the yellow one. And the beauty about that, when we've done that twice, because remember, there's two sets of each, there's two pieces of each set. So there's two yellow and purple ones, right? And there's two orange and green ones. There's two blue and pink ones. Once we've done it twice, we can move on to the next color. So we can batch create these real quick. Told you these would be super quick. All right, this we're gonna have to switch brushes because this one's separating because the bristles are way too hard. Let's see. There we go. Oh yeah. Let me get one of my good brushes out. The bristles don't separate as much on these. There we go. I can hear she is watching Blippi, which usually Blippi doesn't get on my nerves, but today he has. He has definitely tap danced on my last nerve. That's why I was like, can you go to my room and watch TV? It's like, because I can still hear it, but it's not as loud. Blippi has gotten on my nerves. Oh, thank you. Okay, so remember we ghosted out this carousel pink, so I am going to have to switch this out real quick. I am going to have to switch that out. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, that was carousel pink and white. So it won't take but a second. And we'll let those dry off to the side while we paint the others. We can leave it like this, but I want to use straight from the bottle carousel pink as my shade. Remember, take your time on those transition lines. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Take your time. There we go. There we go. We'll let that dry off to the side. Let's do the green. Let me see something. See if I can spot a. Yep. Right there. Oh, there goes my phone. Okay. So as far as New Year's resolutions goes, that's my plan. I plan not to buy any unnecessary. Oh gosh, what are they called? Supplies. I plan to donate what I don't plan to use, and I have a whole bag of donations by the front door. It's a whole bag. They're like what are those things called? Where die cuts. I had a whole Sizzix situation going on pre-cricket days. I still had that thing. And so I have decided, why am I holding on to this? I'm not going to use it. The only reason I still have it is because I'm afraid of not having it, which is not a reason to keep it. There's purple in my brush. So I was like, I'm never going to use it. I have a Cricut. If I want something, I'm going to use the Cricut instead. So I'm going to donate it. Hopefully, oh, I see where the purple came from. And if they decide to get rid of it, then they just decide to get rid of it. I'll be okay with that. Honestly, I just need to get rid of it because I feel like anybody who I would donate it to would probably prefer a Cricut. But in a pinch, if they don't have one, it would work. I remember when I worked in a preschool, we used to have one of those machines. Mine's a Sizzix. They had like an industrial size. I don't remember what the brand was, but I mean, that's how we made our bulletin board. Was we would go to the supply room and they had all these different themes that you could do, and you could cut out using, poster board or cardstock or construction paper. You could cut out all the different shapes. You could cut out a bumblebee. You could cut out, trees, all the different stuff, right? And it served a purpose. But, most people have a Cricut nowadays. So even the preschools don't have those anymore. So, but I still had mine. So, and it was just collecting dust on a shelf, a whole shelf. Like it took up a whole shelf. So now I have all that space given back to me. And I can start storing the things that I actually use. I use paint. I use brushes. I use makeup sponges. Like the things that I use all the time, that's what I plan to do. That is, I don't want to walk into a craft store and be like, ooh, that's inspirational. Let me pick that up. I'm sure I could use that one day. Well, if I don't have a plan for it, I don't need to come home with it. And that's my goal. So if y'all catch me saying, oh, I bought it because it was pretty, or, ooh, I bought it because it will be useful one day, y'all yell at me. I want you to yell at me. But like, that's not what you said on January 1st. Like, it's just going to create a burden for you later. you're going to get rid of it one day because you never used it. So, I don't know. Maybe by February 1st, I'll feel different. Maybe I'll be like, what? Look at me. Okay. Tell me that I'm not in screen. Okay, there we go. So our green is shaded. Very subtle. Pink is still a little wet. Let's move on to the yellow. Remember what we did for yellow? We base coated in yellow. And we added some bright orange. And it turned out so pretty. That was a pretty color combination. So let's do that. So here's, just bring it over here. This is where my hand wants to be when it paints. So let me just bring the camera. I'm going to do it over here. It's a little bit too much water. I'm spraying it way too close to my project, and that's why I'm getting frustrated. Okay. Okay, so we did a little bit. See, just a little bit on this side and a little bit over here. Now let's see if I can, there we go. Smaller droplets. Oh, so much smoother. And I will say, shading with this orange, it's hard just because it's already a translucent color. Like I said, this orange does no favors for anybody. It's not my favorite orange to paint with, but it is the right color for this project. So we're just going to have to suck it up, Buttercup. There we go. That one's much better. Okay. So the purple and the yellow ones, they're done. Pink is still a little wet. So let's finish the orange ones. And then we'll be done with these two. And then once we finish blue and pink, we'll be completely done. So let's see. Owie, I just scratched my face and it did not feel good. Let's break out. Nope, not that. That's pink. That's pink too. We're going to add a little bit of red. Not a lot. Just a little bit. To this orange. To deepen it up. Actually, no. I'm lying. Let's see what this is going to do. No. I think we're going to stick to the plan. I think we're going to do same situation as the yellow. We're going to add a little bit of red. I mean, the teeniest, tiniest little bit of red. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. To our base coat color. I used alizarin crimson. See, just adds a little bit of depth. You could have added brown too, but remember, we want these to maintain bright. That's why I wanted red. Normally, if it's an orange, I would have added brown. That's if we're using earthy tones or darker tones. I really wanted this to stay bright. So while shading, I needed to maintain bright. So I picked a red because red is brighter than brown. Red is much brighter than brown. So that helps me maintain the color scheme that I have going here. If this is the technique that I want to do to add shading. If all you want to do is add definition, you can use paint pens. But if you want to add dimension, like a little bit of roundness, go ahead and add shading. Just takes a little bit of practice. Okay. And even me, like I was spraying way too close to my project, making bigger water droplets, and that was a problem. That will create problems, and it was creating problems. But the second I realized, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong, and I fixed it, I tweaked just one little aspect of it, it all started going a lot more smooth. So if it's not going right, I promise you, it's probably just one little aspect. Like you're either not picking up enough paint, you're using dirty water, which is why I use the spray bottle, because that's usually my problem. I'm always using dirty water because I don't rinse my water out as often as I should. Or using too much paint. Too much paint, too much pressure, dirty water. And in my case this time, my water was way too close. All right. We are on the last two, and then we're done. As my husband would say, we're done, son. That's how he says it. He'll go, we're done, son. I'm like, I'm not your son. All right, here we go. Spritz. That was too close, but we'll make it work. Now we're going around the outside. Just needs a little bit. Okay, and a little bit on the inside right here. Just to create a little bit of a shadow of those hearts overlapping. See? While our brush still has pink on it. I did mix a little bit of red in there just to deepen it up. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a smidge. All right. Okay. And like I said, just behind the two hearts overlapping. Ooh, I love that. Love it. And now for the blue, we're going to do that peacock teal. Okay. Oh, no, just. Okay. Go around the outside. Around the outside. Okay, and just a little bit on the inside. Just a teeny little bit. There, oh, I hit you. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Okay. Okay, that's probably too much. That's okay. Okay, we'll make it work. And a little bit on the inside. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit to separate the two. Ah, I hit you again. Sorry. See, just a little bit on the inside and just a little bit on the outside. Just barely there, right? Okay, so we're done with this. I'm going to put all my trash on here. I'm going to throw it away as soon as we're done. Clean up. That was another thing that I want to work on. I want to clean up after myself when I'm done painting. At least put things away. It doesn't have to be pristine, but I do want to be a little bit more organized as far as like processes. Okay, so that is our tutorial for our garland. So we have all 6 pieces. They can be drilled and strung. And our attachment. And I think I still have the door hanger right here, okay? I've already sealed it. I have not put a hanger on it because I have not decided, do I want to add beads or do I want to add a bow? I can do both, but I don't want to. I want either beads or a bow. And I'm leaning towards beads only because if I put a bow, I'm going to put it right here near the handle. And I don't want it to take away from the shape of the design. And if I put a bow here, it's going to cover some of the handle and it may be unrecognizable as a mug. And so I think what I'm going to do is beads and maybe a small bow. But if I do a bow, I want to do a big one. I like big bows and I cannot lie. This one right here will probably get a little bit of glitter on the frame to make the frame pop. Just some iridescent glitter. I haven't decided. I don't know if I want to do loose glitter or if I want to do glitter paint. These are definitely going to get some glitter. I don't know if I'm going to do some glitter puffy paint or if I want to do just all glitter. I think I'm going to let Raylyn pick. And I might let her help me with the glitter since she's going to be home for a couple of days or, for a whole nother week. But in the event that I do any of that, I will definitely let you know. I had so much fun hanging out with you today. I loved she heard her name. Yes, ma'am.
So what did you say my name?
I said I might let you help me pick how we do the glitter on these. But my brain can't wrap my head around that right now. Plus, we need to go see Santa.
Yeah, so Mama.
Yes, ma'am.
So what other colors you would have?
See, that's a question for when we do it. I don't know. We still got to sit down and make our ornaments for this year. We always make an ornament every year. And that's the one I get to keep. Because, they make ornaments and bring them home from school. And, in our family, when you move out of the house and you get your own Christmas tree, those are the ornaments you start with. And the ornaments that... Put my headphones on my head. And the ornaments, like I buy them an ornament every year. Like that's part of their... that's just part of our Christmas traditions. I buy them an ornament that makes me think of them every year. A lot of times it has something to do with how they dressed up for Halloween that year.
I hear you.
You hear me? Oh, you have my headphones on. And then have a great weekend. I will, Sheila. I'm so excited. It's going to be a good one. We have 2 Christmas parties, both family related. And Santa pictures and an ornament to make and Santa cookies. We got to make some Santa cookies. It's going to be jam-packed. If I don't see you before Christmas, I want you to know that I wish you a very Merry Christmas. And you will definitely see me before the new year. But in the event that you miss me, a Happy New Year. Until later, I'll talk to you then. Bye.